welcome one and all in here, out there, all around the world to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. And ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, we are live right now. Coming to you from the Ed Sullivan Theater after the first presidential debate, Harris v. Trump, Kamala versus the Traumala, Donald versus his own mouth.
Come on.
I don't know about y'all, but I had so many emotions coming into tonight's debate, you know? A lot of anxiety-based emotions. Fear, hungry, fungry. Unlike the first presidential debate back in June, this time the Democratic candidate was able to walk out to the stage without pausing for a nap. It was Harris's first presidential debate, though, while it was Trump's 7th presidential debate. You know what they say? Practice makes. She came in, Kamala Harris came in needing to rattle Trump's cage. And now that it's over, they are still looking for pieces of his cage in low orbit. She's going to be picking his cage out of her poop. Harris got under his skin like she was stuffing in butter and rosemary. It was beautiful. By the end of the debate, the meat was falling off the bone. Kamala Harris came out swinging.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Honestly,
you had me at Donald Trump left us. Trump, for his part, tried to talk about how he handled the COVID economy.
We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible.
That is actually true. Before Trump, no one thought it was possible to inject bleach. Then, Trump had a weird summary of Harris's policies.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
Whereas, hers is run, spot, run, whereas my plan is see, spot, Dick, Jane.
Wow.
At one point, Trump made the interesting point that Harris has no point of view, stole his point of view, and also is a radical communist.
I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. And it will be the end of our country. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
She's a Marxist. It's her, Groucho, Harpo, Chico, and Zeppo, the most terrible Marxist of all. And it's horrible how they've raised the price on everything. No one can even afford duck soup. Trump was also nonsensical that Kamala spent a good amount of time of the debate. He was so nonsensical that she looked at him the way a parent looks at a kid giving a presentation on why they should be allowed to get a pet tiger. Then, when the moderators asked a basic question about Roe v. Wade, Trump lied so flagrantly that moderator Lindsay Davis had to step in with this.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Follow-up question, can a moderator win a debate? Trump tried to claim he supports reproductive rights.
I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. I have been a leader on fertilization.
Oh, I have been a leader on fertilization. In fact, I have been called a giant pile of fertilizer. I've done babies, like 4 or 5 babies, with only 1 dud in the group. Even the best of us can end up with an Eric. It's very sad. What are you gonna do? At one point, Harris said that his rallies were boring and that people were leaving the Trump rallies early, and that made Trump go the cuckoos. After a rant defending his rallies, he said this.
In Springfield, They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Let's call it time of crazy 9:31 p.m. Can we write that down on something, please? Flash from Philly. David Muir fact-checked him, but Trump kept going.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food.
I saw on television. No, I saw on television. It's crazy what they're doing. On television, there's this one town where they make the dogs do all the work. They are the police, the fire department, everything. Little puppies. They got these little puppies, folks. No, I saw it. They call them the Paw Patrol, and their boss is a little boy. And it's so sad. I'm telling you, you saw.
Come on, man.
Everyone, come on. In light of this summer's Supreme Court presidential immunity ruling, Harris had this stark warning.
Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails.
Okay, yeah. I'm imagining it, okay. Oh, he's tripped. Oh, there's no guardrails. And whoops, there he goes. Down the steps. Oh, and he's making a xylophone sound as he bangs on his wand. Here's an idea about the Trump administration that Harris came back to again and again.
It's time to turn the page. Let's turn the page. Let's turn the page on this.
Actually, turning the page seems kind of mild. I would say we should burn the book, but that's really more his thing. Kamala brought up how Trump said there were very good people on both sides at Charlottesville, but Trump had a defense.
That story has been, as you would say, debunked. Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse, all of these people.
Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Skeletor, Darth Vader, Thanos, that little floating green guy who eats all the hot dogs in Ghostbusters, all of them debunked it. We miss you, Slimer. And then they turned to Trump's favorite subject, 2020, and his lying about how he won.
You have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Okay, but you can't believe a thing I say. I'm crazy. Everybody knows that. I'm the Hannibal Lecter whale guy. Immigrants are taking our cats and giving them operations to turn them into dogs and then eating the dogs. Well, then Harris basically told Trump, dude, nobody likes you.
World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact.
How do I say this delicately? The candidate to my right does not have the ability to not be confused. He lacks the fortitude to hold in his pee-pee. His colon is uncertain about how to not do little toots every time he walks. Here's Trump's big comeback.
Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president.
It's not fantastic when your character reference is an Eastern European strongman. Mussolini loves me. Stalin, Gargamel, the guy from Minions movie, Captain Hook. Captain Hook loves me. He's gonna get that Peter Pan and that Tinkerbell, I tell you. You know, in the 80s, I dated Tinkerbell for a while. When we were at Studio 54, that wasn't fairy dust she was sprinkling on the bathroom counter. And it wasn't our hands we were clapping. We were clapping. Really? Really?
Oh.
I'm sorry. Then they switched to foreign policy, and Harris explained how Trump's support of Putin would spell disaster for the rest of the world.
And why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch?
Don't do it, Vlad. I know he looks crispy and salty, but he'll back up on you like a bad clam. Now, when it came to Trump negotiating with the Taliban, Harris barely bit her tongue.
The president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David, a place of storied significance for us as Americans, a place where we honor the importance of American diplomacy, where we invite and receive respected world leaders. And this former president
I don't think former president was the F word she was looking for. But you know what? She might have just invented a new swear word. Could I hear it in a sentence?
I have had it with these
Former president.
snakes on this
Former president.
plane.
Trump was asked about his previous attempts to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and what he would do if he had succeeded.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
Spoken like every dad when they have the kids for the weekend. Oh, what are we having for dinner? I have concepts of a plan. Beer has wheat, and ketchup is a vegetable. I think the whole debate can be summed up by this MSNBC report. Trump campaign officials are upset at ABC News for fact-checking that migrants are not eating dogs in Ohio. Well, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that his campaign is pretty upset because while migrants may not be eating dogs, with his debate performance tonight, Trump did eat a Philly turd steak. All in all, I believe tonight Harris gave one of the best debate performances I have ever seen. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing that could have made tonight any better for Kamala Harris.
Taylor Swift and a picture of her and her cat. She has just posted that she watched the debate tonight and that she is endorsing Kamala Harris.
I stand corrected. We got a great show for you tonight. My guest is John Dickerson. And when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?